Apologies, y'all. Apologies. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't. I know this happens from time to time. I don't think it was nothing YouTube related. And I hadn't even started going deep. So I don't think it was YouTube related. Maybe some on my end, maybe a bad connection. But I apologize. I hope to get y'all back. We was just starting to cook. But I'll start over, We'll act like this happened. Y'all just rewind time. Just bloop, 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 rewind and act like this is y'all first time seeing me today. But I'll go back for those who catch the stream later. I'm gonna try to remember and repeat as much as I can because when I do these topics, I'm coming off the dome 98% of the time. So y'all hit the like button as y'all come in. I appreciate y'all coming back. Those who are gonna come back, I appreciate that. I apologize for the technical issues. I think it was on my end this time. I love to blame YouTube. I'm quick to say it's a conspiracy, but I don't think it was. I think it was on my end. Uh, but yeah, talking with your work, not with your mouth. That is the topic that we on tonight, and that's basically geared towards individuals who fall into this mode of number one, either procrastination because they truly intend on doing what it is they're telling everybody they're going to do. They really intend on doing it. It's no trickery going on. But they fall into this mode of procrastination and then they don't follow up. They lag and they don't follow up. The second aspect of it are people who are just running game. They just talking. They want to make it sound like they got some motion, like they doing something, or maybe people around them are doing something, and that puts them in a mind frame like feeling like they got to keep up and compete. But you don't keep up with this. You keep up with this. You keep up with the work. You keep up with the activity that you carry out with your hands and thinking it and working it into existence. So you have that aspect of it. But whatever it is, all of us that's in this room, we can relate. We've known people. We might be the people. I have to catch myself sometime and say, okay, let me get back to working. Quit talking about it so much. Let's get back to working, because we've all known people or know people that'll tell you, hey man, I'm starting school in the fall. Hey man, I'm going back to school. Hey man, I ain't going to jail no more. Hey, I'm getting a job. Hey, I'm gonna open up my business. Whatever the case is, I'm gonna be a better father to my children. I'm gonna be this. Whatever the case is, we know people that kind of just talk, and in the beginning, people will believe you because, in general, us as people, for the most part, we got a lot of skeptical people, and I ain't mad at you if you're a skeptical person in this day and age, but for the most part, if somebody tells you something general, hey man, I'm getting ready to open me up my own business, the average person is gonna say, oh man, that's dope, man. Yeah, okay, I wish you the best on that, man. Keep me posted, man. I'll come support. That's what the average person will say. So when you give them that type of encouragement, whether they figuring on doing it or not, it feels good. It's like, oh man, that's some positive encouragement, positive reinforcement. But when you don't do it, or you don't do it, after a while, people become numb. They become deaf to hearing you still talking about it, because now 2 years done passed, 5 years done passed, in extreme cases, 10 years done passed, and people, like, man, this dude been talking about doing this forever, and he still haven't done it. So you don't even bother with even having a conversation with him. And that's like, oh, yeah. Or if you're like me, You say, man, you've been talking about doing that since 1962. You ain't, man, you still ain't did that yet. That's if it's me. Because now what you have become when you get into that mode, especially if you don't have any intentions on doing it, you become equivalent to a politician. And what politicians do, as we all know, they make a lot of promises that they don't keep. They make a lot of claims and statements about things that they're going to do once they're in office. And then they get the people behind them believing and rallying behind them, believing that they'll do those things. And once you put those people in office, then they don't carry out any of the promises that they told the people that they would carry out. So now, as an individual, now you've become a politician because you continuously do it. And like a politician, there may be people who believe you. I don't know. Maybe if it ain't nobody, maybe it's your mama. Your mama still believe in you. I don't know. But the most people that got a brain in their head are no longer into that. So what's respected more than how you talk is a result. So when people use the term action speaks louder than words, that is under that umbrella, because people will respect the result if they never heard you say a word about it, because there can be a time where you may run into somebody, or you may be in an area and there may be somebody in the distance that you don't even know. And somebody tells you who that person is. Somebody say, well, hey, nah, man, that's Bob Butler, man. He built up a self-made businessman. Now he's worth $30 million. Now you didn't know that. You didn't know nothing about Bob Butler. Somebody had to tell you who it was. You never saw his work. But now you've been exposed to the result. You say, oh, okay. Because when you focusing on the work, you really don't even have the time to be doing a lot of talking when you're really working. And as I was saying before, the connection went bad. A lot of times it's not good to do a lot of talking for a couple of reasons. Number one, like I say, somebody may steal your idea if you're talking too much. And I did a short video on this a couple of years back where I was urging everybody, you have to be careful when you talk to people about your ideas, especially when you talk to people who may have the means, the financial means to put it in motion before you do. You may have a great idea, but you got to work up to get the revenue, the money. You got like, man, okay, that's what I'm trying to do right now, man. I just got to get an investor. I got to build up some capital. And in his mind, he's like, I already got the capital. I like that idea. You ain't trademarked or patented your invention. You ain't done none of that. So that's one basic reason why you don't do all that talking. Number two, some people talk to be seen and heard, to be seen just to make it seem like that they're doing something. But the people who are actually working, again, they don't have time to talk. There's no room for talking because the mission is what's more important. It's like, if I don't tell none of y'all what I'm doing, I'm focused on my mission. I have to do this. I got to get this done. I can't play. It's not even in my mind to be sitting around having conversations all the time about it. And that's where the respect will come from people. And then you know what's so crazy? Sometimes people will even ask you, hey man, what you got going on? What you doing? And they might not mean, the most people don't mean no harm. Let me get that straight, because you got some people that may just take it to the extreme, and now you looking at everybody like no, this 82-year-old lady is not going to steal your idea. She's just inquiring. But sometimes people have that mindset. So I encourage everybody, look, man, whatever you got your mind set to do, just start doing it. Just start doing it, you know. And over time, as the progress comes, when the momentum gets to a point where it can't be blocked, stopped, hated on, prayed against, whatever you could think of, then maybe you can announce it. Because at some point, if you're doing something that you feel is big enough, you're going to have to announce it anyway, because you're going to launch it. But you got to wait till you get your foundation set before you start running off at the mouth. And another reason to not run off at the mouth, and this one is not as significant because the average person with some intestinal fortitude don't care about this part. But this is for the people who might care. So I'm going to put this out there for those, though I'm going to throw this out at you for those who might care about this part. I don't care about this part in this particular way. I'll tell you another way that I do care about it. Sometimes you don't like to run off at the mouth before you do something, just in case it doesn't work out. And some people are like, well, I don't want to look embarrassed. I don't want to look like I'm a failure. And like I said, the only failure is in not trying. That's the only failure, is in not trying. And not succeeding in something one time is not failure. See? You get 3 strikes in a baseball game before you out. So if I'm at the plate and I swing and miss on the first pitch, I don't walk back to the dugout. I'll shake that swing and miss off and I'll stand there and get ready for the next pitch. And even if I strike out, this is a long baseball game. I get another at bat and another one and another one. See? So the only failure is in not to try. But some people have that worry in their mind when I don't want to tell nobody because I don't want to hear nobody's mouth if it don't work out. Well, when you program your mind into a mentality that says losing is not an option, then you don't worry about that kind of stuff. I have a losing is not an option type of mentality. I can't lose in my mind. I'm like, in my mind, I can't lose. I have to accomplish what I'm setting out to accomplish. So if I mention it, if I did mention it and it didn't work out, then guess what? Okay, no problem. I don't feel embarrassed. I don't feel shame. I got to go back and fix, because I ain't through yet. I got to go back and reshape and reform and figure out what it is I got to do to make it right. But a lot of us do worry about what people are going to think, especially when we're under the pressure of people who might have told you at some point that you're not going to be nobody. Everybody can't tell that story. That's not everybody's reality, but it is a lot of people's reality. A lot of people have come up around people that have just imposed upon them from an early age that you ain't gonna never be nothing. So you want to prove those people wrong, but those ain't the kind of people you should be sharing your thoughts and ideas with anyway, to even worry about if you don't succeed. You let those kind of people see the result. Work is the loudest communication that you can express. Work. We can see it without seeing it. We can see it without hearing it. If a dude just walks up and he got on construction clothes and a hard hat and he's all dirty and he just happens to walk up, you in the store, and he walks up and he gets in line. He ain't said nothing. But in your mind, you know he put in some work based on what you're seeing, based on how he looks. And okay, that brother been working all day. He ain't said a word. He ain't got to walk in and say, "Yeah, man, just clocked out. Look at me. See this dirt on my hand? See these calluses?" Nah, the work speaks for itself. It's like if you Google somebody. Might have heard the name. Let me Google this cat. I never heard of him. Then you see, wow, this dude got 20 albums. This dude won all these awards. Wow, he's done this, he's done that. You didn't know. Let your work talk. Don't be a politician. Too many politicians out here, man, that ain't in politics. That's what you don't want to be called, don't want to be referred to as. You don't want to be a person who people look at you like your word don't mean nothing. And none of us are perfect. We fall short at times. We make mistakes at times. But you never want to be that person who the first thing they think about when they see you is that dude just be talking. That dude just be lying. That dude is not trustworthy or honorable with their word. You don't want to be that person. Now, some people don't care if you're a con artist. You don't really care. That's part of your hustle. It's like, okay, I want people to believe my lies. I'm telling these lies on purpose because I want people to believe these lies. But if that's not your character, if that's not what you are in this world and in this life to achieve, to get over on people, then you have the power to shape that. Everybody has the power to shape their own image, to shape their own reality. I don't want to just say shape their own image because you can shape a false image, but you do have the power to do that. People do it every day. Like you look at celebrities, you look at, like I said, politicians, you look at just different people, you look at people you work with, you look at people you've been around, you family members, who people have the ability to shape an image of what they want to be perceived as, but it could be the total opposite of what they actually really are. The goal should be to shape your character. When you shape character, not image, you shape your character the right way, that becomes who you are. It becomes who you are within yourself, and it becomes who you are to the eyes of people on the outside of you because they see the work. Because the work is not always work in a sense of, like I said earlier, accomplishing a goal or opening a business, establishing a career. Those are the base things, but the work, the real work, is done on self. And we all need that kind of work. But there's no one individual that can do that work for you. People can drop little seeds on you. People can influence you. People can teach you. People can sway you and lead you in right directions. People can instill knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in you. But ultimately, it's up to me, it's up to you to make the choice to put in the work of self-improvement. It's up to us. So when we do that, the character is shaped. The character is shaped, and now it starts to reflect out because you don't have no choice but to be who you are. Well, you got a choice, But I'm saying once you're locked into who you are, to that person that I'm talking about, it peels off of you. See? And only those who um, are envious, only those who are messed up in their own way, those are the only people who don't see it or who won't acknowledge it or who will find a way to have something bad to say about it. But that's not your problem. That's their problem. See? You just do the work. You just do the work. See? And visualize doing that work as being on an elevator that never comes down, an elevator that constantly goes up. You just working. As you working, you just ascending. You're going up, you're going up, you're going up, you're going up, you're going up. You don't even have the time or thought to think about what's going on down there that's negative. The only thought that you should have on your ascension, the only thought that you should have on your ascension about what's going on down there is how you can pull people up who have the same mind as you are and have and want to be where you are, and they have the right character and right spirit, and they are a reflection of that. Then you should be thinking about the people down there, what's down there, to hand pluck those people, and the rest of them die off in the wilderness. Everybody ain't supposed to be up there with you. And sometimes, you grow up with people. See, you have people that you grew up with, but because their minds never matured, their minds never elevated, they stayed where they are. So y'all grew up together, but y'all didn't grow up together. See what I'm saying? So you got to leave them where they at, because there's instances where you may have tried. Well, I'm gonna try to help this cat out. They're not ready. They're not mentally equipped for that, because when you've been a snake all your life, you cannot be taken on as, you can't get a pet snake. I'm gonna get me a pet, name a poisonous snake, y'all. A pet rattlesnake, a venomous snake. You want to bring the snake in as a pet. I think I can make a good home for this snake. But you can't change the mindset of that snake. A snake got a nature in it. And a snake gonna snake. But the key for you is to recognize the snakery. When you recognize that, then it's up to you to say, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that no more. So that's growth on your part, because you got a hand pluck. When you walking through the grocery store, when you're in the produce section, you don't just grab the first thing you see. You don't grab the first tomato, the first bell pepper, the first apple. People, they gonna check it out. They want to make sure some people go too far in the produce section. I had to leave the store one time Because there was a lady in the produce section. She was, and just so happened, I'm coming to get some bell peppers. And there was a lady in the produce section. She was picking up every bell pepper and just putting it up against her face and then put it back down in the thing. I can't get no bell peppers out of that day. I'm sorry. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The civilized people, when they're selecting, because you're selecting with the thought process, with the mindset of, I want to pick the best out of this crop that is going to be the most deserving, the most beneficial, has the most nutrients, whatever it is. You people who like to eat watermelon, everybody who like to eat watermelon, the funniest thing that I've ever seen about people who eat watermelon, which by the way, there's nothing wrong with eating watermelon. Watermelon is, there's nothing wrong with eating watermelon. Watermelon is really good for you. I should eat watermelon, more watermelon. But my point is, the funniest thing about people who eat watermelon, everybody and their mama swear up and down, they know how to pick out the best watermelons. It's like, no, see, this is what you got to do, see? You got to thump it. See, if it's hollow, then it's, oh no, see, you got to make sure, you got to put it up to your ear. You got to make sure the side that's yellow, if it got a yellow patch on, everybody in their mama know the perfect formula for picking out a watermelon. But the principle that I'm making is that you could think you know the formula for picking out the best watermelon and still pick a bad one. Because I've seen it happen. People get that watermelon back and oh man, this watermelon ain't even sweet. Yeah, I thought you knew how to pick them. So nobody is perfect even in that process. So you have to just really dig and make sure, because once you get up here, everybody don't deserve to be up there with you. Because what happens is, if you bring the wrong person up, they'll tear you down. They will tear you down. So now you have to go into a mode of self-protection. Can't bring the wrong person with you. They will tear you down, or they'll try to. They'll try to. It's up to you to not let that happen. See? No appreciation. I saw the brother, and keep in mind this little example I'm about to give. I'm not condoning what the brother was doing. I'm talking about the principle that I just mentioned. So that was a drug dealer back in the days. I ain't gonna say his name, but that was a drug dealer who worked his way up the dope dealing ladder. Started from a small time cat and built up to a freaking crack cocaine enterprise, an empire. That's what I meant to say. And I think he was either making $1 million a week or $1 million a month. I can't remember. Either way, that's pretty strong. He brought somebody in while he was already up. Now, he had his workers around him that he'd been rocking with that, sometimes you can't really trust them. You can't trust that. But he had a core, but he brought in somebody new. And he brought that new person in and elevated that person up in the ranks. Had that person right beside him. Person had done nothing to deserve to be on that right hand of, I don't know what angle y'all seeing it. On the right hand, it's my right hand. And once the feds started applying pressure, guess who it was that brought him down? Guess who it was that made a deal for their own immunity and told everything and brought him down? It was that same person that he decided deserved to skip the steps. You really didn't know the person. Now, I heard the brother is out, but I know for a fact he did about 30. So again, I'm not condoning drug sales, but the principle within of a person rising up through the ranks from the mud and then letting somebody latch on who you don't know, who you don't trust, who is all good when it's good. You don't do that. Why? Because you put in too much work for that. You don't let nobody destroy all that you have built. You don't jeopardize what you built. Like, nope, get away. We all make mistakes, but get away. So, because my old track coach, he taught me something when I was in the 9th grade. I used to run track. I wasn't fast, I ran long distance. I ran a 2 mile. But I'm going to tell you what my track coach told me. My track coach told me, he said, son, it's the hardest thing in the world to do is to get in shape. The easiest thing in the world to do is to get out of shape. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Because when you're working to get in shape, man, you running, you doing jumping jacks and push-ups every day. You tired, you about to throw up, you're sore, your legs hurt, your arms hurt, you got to get up and do it again. You are working hard. But when you get into that shape, that level of physical shape, that you like, man, you can run all day. You ain't sore no more. You're strong, mentally and physically. But all it takes is for you to get lazy for 1 week, 2 weeks. You ain't going to practice. I done fell out of that. And all of a sudden, you right back where you were. Look how quick you fall out of shape compared to how long it takes to get in shape. I never forgot when Coach Walker told me that. And I took it in its literal sense back then, but now it's a metaphor. It's been a metaphor for my life. It's been a metaphor for my life. See? So put your work in, man. Put your work in first. You ain't got to do no talking. You ain't got to tell people what you're doing or what you did. And I know what kind of world we live in. The kind of world we live in, people suffer from ADD. And of course, the average person might know that ADD stands for attention deficit disorder. But I don't mean it in the way that the medical field means. I don't define ADD like that. I mean, you can, I guess. What their definition is, an individual who has difficulty staying focused or keeping attention. That's okay. That's okay. I guess you can look and say that's attention deficit disorder. That's okay. No problem. My definition of attention deficit disorder are individuals who feel in their heart that they are lacking attention from the world. So then in their mind, they are at an attention deficit, not focusing, having people focusing on them. I don't get enough attention, so I'm at an attention deficit. And that's what's wrong. A lot of people suffer from that. They want attention so bad that they got to tell everybody everything they do. And they even will make up stuff that they're not doing. See? But God see it all. Yeah, I mean, certain scenarios, there are controversial conversations that come up where people will say, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. You know how people go feed the homeless, right? You feed the homeless, and then you record yourself feeding the homeless. I've done that several times. But there are people who are like, man, you shouldn't film and record yourself when you feed the homeless, man. That's not cool, man. You trying to be seen. People will say that. And I understand that. I understand exactly where they're coming from when they say that, when they say, man, that's messed up that people would go feed the homeless and then they filming and recording it. But I also will say, I only agree with you if those people who are doing that are filming that for the wrong reasons. Because there are right reasons to do it, to film it, to document it. See? And that's one of the reasons you document it, and you also do it. I'm speaking for myself. You also do it to project the seed out to others who can be inspired by you doing it. Because if you keep it a 100% secret in that particular case, and I know I may be getting it straight, but I'm trying to give y'all some understanding of where I'm coming from. Especially if you have a platform. It might inspire somebody in a whole nother city to do it. It may inspire somebody in another state, in another country to do the same thing because it has happened. People that have reached out to me and say, well, man, I want to do something like that in my city. And I say, okay, man, it's easy. This is all you got to do. Bang, 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 bang. So when God knows your intentions, see, if God knows that you're just doing it to try to be seen and want to make yourself look like some angelic, over charitable individual, okay, he saw that. But he also knows if that's not your intention for documenting or showing what you are filming and recording, if he knows that also. So if I'm securing that and my reason, I ain't worried about what nobody say, because I know that's not why I did it. But some people want that kind of attention. Some people, when they give money, right? You got people who give money anonymously. Somebody might give $5,000 and they'll say, well, hey, brother, you want your name announced? And they'll go, just take it. Because they're not doing it for that. But you have other people who mean well, who are giving from the heart, but they still want to be acknowledged. I want y'all to know, because they may have an organization. I want to bring attention to my organization as well, because blah, blah, blah. The more people know I can help more people. But then you got other people who do mean well. They just might got a little bit of attention deficit disorder. They just like, I want people to know that I did this. I want people to know I care. I ain't trying to cap. See, you got people that's like that too. But then you got the other ones too. I know I'm all over the place, but I got to cover everything so y'all to get full understanding, so nobody can say that I missed nothing. If I missed something, then I just missed it. But you got other people who are just trying to be seen. Look at me. I gave $500. Look at me. You don't care nothing about the cause. See? Let your work talk. Let me see what y'all talking about in here, man. Joshua says, I ain't gonna go backwards. Joshua says, what up, big bro? Unique topic. Talk the talk and walk the walk. And the proof is in the pudding. Yeah. Just walk the walk. Look, you ain't got to talk the talk. Walking the walk talks the talk for you. See? Connie say, man looks on the outside, but God looks at the heart. Man. I work hard for my heart to be in the right place. My heart is in the right place. That don't mean you always do the right thing. Let me make that clear. You don't always do the right thing, but your heart can be in the right place. You don't mean you're not trying to hurt anybody. You're not trying to mess over nobody, you know. And in that regard, you're right on point. God knows your heart. God knows somebody only gives $1. You know, or I'll use this example. You got a homeless man on the street, and I've used this example a lot in this case. Where in the instant of God knowing your heart, I'll use it this time because of what Connie said. You got a homeless person that's out asking for money. You see people giving him money. You look at him and you go, I ain't giving that dude no money. You might say that to one of your friends that you with. You ain't gonna give, nah, man, I ain't giving that dude nothing. You might say it just like that. To the outside, it'll come off like, man, that was wrong. That was rude, man. That man homeless, man. You can't get that man $1, man. I gave him $5, man. You can't, man, that was rude, man. You might be like that one day. You shouldn't have. But he might not know what you know about that dude. He might not know that dude is on dope real bad, and he finna take that money all y'all gave him and go mess himself up more. So you're upset that he's going to that he's destroying himself, that he's begging for money to destroy himself. So you upset. So you like, man, I ain't giving him no money because I know what he gonna do with it. So while you misunderstand, God know my heart. God know that I'm really looking out for him by not giving him nothing. Or let's say he ain't on drugs, but he's a bum. There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing physically wrong with him. I got somebody in mind when I think about that. Maybe that situation will come later on. I'm just loading up for that person. But this person's a bum. Nothing wrong with him. Physically fit. Can easily go out and get a job. Fill out an application somewhere and get a job. I don't care if the job is at name a place that people would be shamed to work at because they're bums. But anyway, the point is, able-bodied individual, right? I know it, but the person I'm hanging out with don't know it. Man, you're not gonna give? Nah. So you don't know this dude been standing in front of this store for 5 years. There's nothing wrong with him. He just comes out here. He's satisfied with getting just enough to get him through the day, however he gets through the day. But he's depending on your hard working. You had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning when you didn't feel like getting up. The alarm woke you up, you tired, you getting up, you working like a dog, and only for this cat to come along and say, hey, man, you got some change, man. See? Man, that's wrong, Kay. Now when you know, because I give what I give when I see people, but if I don't know, I don't have no reason to know. But if I know that it's not going in the right place, no, I can't contribute to it. I'm contributing to it. I'm inspiring you more. I'm gonna bless this dude game today, man. I'm gonna give him a 5 today. So he might have been doubting himself, like maybe I do need to get a job. And I come along and give him $5. He go, whip. That's a sign. DJX says being a bum is hard work. Yeah, he at work, huh? The bum, like, man, it's hot out here, man. I clocked in at 8 this morning, man. The store wasn't even open. Come on, man. In this world, the people that want to give don't have it, and the people that have it don't want to give. Can't be expressed no better than that. Ungrateful ninja. Unfortunately, that's not how the world is set up. You couldn't be more right. But we live in a world that's designed for the rich to get richer and remain rich and remain rich on the backs of the poor. They can't do what they do without us poor folks down here. So unfortunately, it's a systematic structure that's not going to ever be changed voluntarily. That's why you see a lot of these guys that are worth $100 billion, $200 billion. One time we did a live stream on here, and I was asking people to look up the net worths of some of these billionaire guys, you know, for like guys like Warren Buffett and Elon Musk and Bill Gates and guys like that. And the numbers come back astronomical, where these people have more money. They have enough money for generations and generations and generations on generations, time generations, right? It would never run out. So when I was a little boy and I would hear about rich people like that, multimillionaires or billionaires, and I'm a little boy. And I used to say naive things to people like, man, okay, well, what if every person that got billions and millions of dollars, what if they just give everybody in the world some money? Now, that sounds logical, even as a little boy. What if we just evenly distribute it out? Or even if it's not evenly distributed out, what if everybody, could somebody pull up how many billionaires is it in the world? How many billionaires are there on the planet Earth? I'm just curious. Could somebody whop that out for your big brother? And I'll get into the backside of that too. But just in theory, because I know it's not realistic before somebody even say that. But in principle and in theory, it's say, okay, well, man, okay, I'm waiting for that number. That's 3,000 billionaires in the world, found in face. Billionaires would it be? Okay, so most billionaires, except the black ones, black folks just started becoming billionaires at a I don't even want to say at an increased rate. We're starting to see a few more black billionaires popping up, right? That's what I'll say. But most black billionaires, they're not high over the billionaire threshold, meaning he might be worth 3 billion. Michael Jordan might be worth, what's Jay-Z's net worth? I'm sorry to keep working, y'all, man. Ooh, combined net worth of 16 trillion. What's Michael Jordan's net worth, y'all? I need Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, Oprah, and LeBron James. Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, Oprah, and LeBron James. What are their net worths, y'all? I ain't gonna ask y'all to keep doing a lot of digging. I'm trying to get to a point. Michael Jordan. Okay, Michael is at 3.5 billion. All right. Oprah 3.1. Jay-Z 2.5. We can stop right there. Okay, now, in our world, it's like, wow, if you have $2.5 billion of a net worth, you are officially in the category of generational wealth. You should be fine. Your children's children should be fine, right? Depending on how long this world lasts, which ain't long. But the point I'm making is that when you see the black billionaires, they're barely over. Now, on the flip side, if we turn around, it's okay. Well, give me Bill Gates, Elon, and Jeff Bezos. So we done said Oprah, Jordan, and Jay-Z. Give me Bill Gates, Elon, and who was the third I said? And Jeff Bezos, right? Thank you, Blacktastic. Give me Jeff Bezos, Elon, and Bill Gates all in a row. I need them laid out the same way, right? Come on, y'all, move a little faster for me. Y'all know I'm old. I'll forget my thought. Y'all gotta come on. Y'all gotta come faster than that, because I'll be like, what was we talking about? Anyway, while I wait on that, the point I'm making is that you can take the combined net worth of every black billionaire, and it won't even make a dent in the net worth of one of those three I named, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos. So we just said between Oprah, Michael Jordan, and Jay-Z. So you take Oprah, Michael Jordan, Jay-Z, LeBron James, combine theirs, that'll be like what, close to 10 billion? And Michael McLean just said Jeff Bezos is at 220 billion. They laughing at the little billion that they allowed those black people to make. Keyword allowed. You're not gonna get there on your own. They laughing at that. So my point is that we can look at that same question that I asked when I was a little boy. We can ask that question in 2025 and say, what if Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk all just gave everybody in the world what? $500,000? See? And those are just 3. But the game ain't set up to do that, because that's power. They're not going to relinquish power. They're not going to level the playing field. Leveling the playing field takes away the power. Why would I be in a fight with somebody and I'm telling them as I'm fighting them what I'm doing as I'm beating them in this fight? Hey, I'm getting ready to swing at your head so he can duck. Hey, I'm going to do a foot sweep on you. Jump in the air. No, they're not going to relinquish that. Could it be that they didn't do a lot of talking on the way to getting their billions? Now, I ain't talking about whatever means by which they accumulated, because, you know, some of those guys, they were tech guys. They got into other little things, but I just don't believe it was a 100% organic rise like that. I don't believe that. They're going to always, like I said, they're going to build their wealth on the backs of the poor in some way. But whatever they did, they just did it. They do a lot of talking. And they hold the ability, when they give you them billions like that, they hold the power to strip it all from you. Because I don't condone nothing that might have went on at no Diddy parties. That ain't what I'm speaking about. That ain't what I'm on. But what I'm saying is that whatever might have went on, whatever might have been done, they do the same thing. And whatever might have been done, those who are responsible for making Diddy a billionaire, they knew he was doing it. Some of them was at the parties. So it's a precautionary tale on several fronts. Don't never get comfortable. I don't care if you are a billionaire. You're a black billionaire, you don't ever get comfortable, because we can run down the list of successful black people that they've torn down. We can run down the list. And that's why I said, regardless of what they may, regardless of how complicit they may have been in their own demise, because you have to keep it real. The point of the matter is, like I said, they always knew what was going on. The powers knew what was going on. And they look at you like, as soon as you get out of line in one way with us, we will show you that your little 2 billion, oh, and he's so cute, he got 3 billion. Oh, look at the little cute. That's like somebody got a little toy. Look at the little cute little 2 billion. Oh, it's so cute. They don't respect your 2 billion. They don't fear your 2 billion, because they've torn down black billionaires and multimillionaires. They don't fear your 2 billion. They gave it to you. I just got through watching the clip just before I got on. I just happened to stumble across it. Mr. Farrakhan was talking about fear. And he said, God did not create nothing in this universe that he's afraid of. God is not afraid of his own creations. These folks ain't either. If they made you, they don't fear you. They can pull the plug on you anytime they want to. They don't fear you in the least bit. But unlike God, who is the power and the ruler of all creation, when they didn't make you, that's what they fear. They fear that which they don't own and control. That's what they fear. They fear unity. They fear our unity. They fear the one who would turn down their money. They fear the one who would say, I gotta do what to get this? Oh, no. Y'all keep that. But I thought you wanted this deal. I thought you want. Yeah, I did want the deal. I thought I wanted it too, but no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna sell my people out. I'm not gonna let you change my content. I'm not gonna let you have me out here as a woman butt naked. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. That's the one they fear, and they'll be like, "Nah, well, you'll never work again. We'll suppress you. You'll never see light of day." The one that exposes what they do to us, that's who they fear. You could be the littlest, most seemingly insignificant one. They don't fear the one that they got the control over, because they know they can call them and say, hey, saw you on a little thing the other day, you was getting a little, what's going on? Oh, no, I was just out there. Okay, well, I don't need you to be out there no more. Okay. Ain't worry about him. Because one common thread that this how you know. How many black billionaires have you seen? Maybe Kanye. Kanye a little unhinged. And that's baby. But outside of Kanye, how many black billionaires have you ever seen that have really just gone above and beyond, going hard, speaking against oppression, speaking against this enemy, and standing up for black cause, just going in. Not, okay, well, that was an incident of police brutality, and I'm gonna wear a t-shirt. I'm gonna wear a Black Lives Matter t-shirt when I'm in the layup line. I'm gonna speak on and say, hey, it's unfortunate, this needs to stop. I'm gonna sit out a game. No, I ain't talking about, I'm talking about in. Where you willing to, like, okay, well, they could take it all. You don't see that. You don't see them go in like that. They might flick a little money to a black cause here and there. They might do that. They might flick a little anonymous bread. But if the answer to the question is, if I ask that question and you got to go, hey, no, it ain't really true. Then the next question you got to ask is why? Because you would think, if you don't know no better, but the average person would think, and a lot of people still think that, because they can't fathom the depths of Satan. So you would think, well, they got all this money, they got some power. Depending on what kind of power you're talking about. Yeah, they can open up a chain of hamburger joints. They can invest. They'll let you invest in an NBA franchise. You can probably get your franchise or something. They'll let you in on those kind of levels there. But let you come around and say, well, yeah, man, I'm ready to invest like $500 million into the black community all around the nation. And I want to start up programs that real education that teach the real history. And that's what I'm going. You can just say something as simple as that. Hello? Oh, no. I'm just trying to do something for my people. Huh? Okay, I ain't gonna do it. You got no power unless they just say forget it. Because my thing always is you done made the money, you got the money. But the problem, the other back end of that is you never know who they might have some, no disrespect, who they might have some Diddy stuff on. And I don't mean maybe exactly what Diddy was doing, but just some dirt. Because that's usually what'll keep you in check as well. See? Bobby Hemmett done told y'all is 100 and we're 100% correct. Yeah, Bobby Hemmett, Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, Farrakhan. Who else? Even Martin Luther King. Let your work talk, not your mouth. One of the biggest problems that we face in America, I can't speak for the rest of the world because I don't live but one place. One of the biggest problems we face in America, and just breaking it all the way down to the microcosm of society, which consists of individuals. The biggest problems we have, we talk too much. Everything that happened, we got to go talk it. Talk it with your mouth verbally, you talk it on the internet. Talk too freaking much. Never trust a person that talks too much. Like that. You have people that talkative now. I'm not saying like if somebody, you got your homies, you got friends, you got people that can go, that can talk. I ain't talking about that. Innocent talking too much. The guy that you run into him at the gas station and you running late and he's steady going. You're like, hey man, it's good to see you, man, but I gotta go. Yeah, man, because I ain't talking about him. Talk about the person that always got something to say that they shouldn't be saying. Even if it's something I'm dealing with, I don't do all that yapping. Talk too much. You're gonna complain about your car not running, or you gonna get a mechanic over there and fix it. Or fix it yourself. What serves to be more beneficial? You gonna talk about being hungry, or you gonna go in there and cook you something to eat, or go get you something to eat? What would serve to be more beneficial? Talk about how broke you are, or you gonna get out and make you some money? All right, man. I lost some of y'all. Y'all don't really like when I Some of y'all don't like when I go in like this. It makes people uncomfortable. And let me just say that because this happened on another live I did a few weeks ago. So I want to say this humbly. I know sometimes when you get into these kind of subjects, and I ain't really go deep, when you get into these kind of subjects, it makes people uncomfortable because of them knowing history or not knowing history, and having a sense of guilt, or having feeling a sense of insecurity and pressure. So if I've ever made you feel comfortable with this truth I'm telling you, I don't care. I got you. I don't care. People talk too much. Look, that same topic, one of the topics I did, I was reading the comments after I did the topic. Because sometimes I do read the comments, y'all. But somebody didn't like what I said, even though nothing I said was untrue. And I'm sure it's a white guy. And he put in the comments, I'm about to unsubscribe. Y'all know what I did when I read that? I started crying, and I ran and I told my mama. I ran to my mama's house crying. Why are you talking about it? Just unsubscribe. I would have never known. I would have never known. I never knew you were subscribed. So for you to tell me I'm unsubscribing, like, so y'all don't know my mentality, dog. I could care less. That was like that was one of the funniest things that I've seen in 2025. I'm like, I looked in the air, I was like, so why announce it? Don't talk with your I guess in this case your typing hands. Just do it. Like I'm supposed to be crushed. Don't unsubscribe. I won't make that time. See, what y'all don't know about me, not all y'all, but some people. When I know that the truth is hurting, I double down. It's like, oh no, I ain't finna let up. I'm finna double down. It's not my fault that history condemns you. Not my fault. New Bill said nobody going with you. Yeah. Somebody will go with them though. That's the thing. But here's the deal. See, this is what you don't understand. Not you, New Bill. This is what they don't understand. I don't want you around me no way. See, I don't need people. I don't care if you are a subscriber, a follower on Instagram, an individual. I don't want you nowhere around me if you are against me in any way. No, you don't get to be around me. It's just no, it's not gonna happen. But some people stick around because they just like to keep an eye on you. So I get that. I understand that too. I'm not going to unsubscribe. I hate this guy, but I got to keep my eye on him. Yeah, Kevin, we go old school. Yeah, y'all go listen to Big Mouth by Houdini and go listen to You Talk Too Much by Run DMC. You talk too much. Homeboy, you never shut up. And Big Mouth. How that Big Mouth had that boom, boom, chop, boom, boom, There's a rumor being spread about me and the crew, about something you did or supposed to do. It might. That's Big Mouth. That's y'all. Y'all homeworkers go listen to Big Mouth, and You Talk Too Much by Run DMC. Big Mouth by Houdini. All right, man. I tell y'all, we're gonna hold y'all long, and I meant it, so I'm gonna get out y'all way. Y'all make sure y'all go check out the latest episode of the Underground Dialogue podcast, which we've been talking a little bit about money and all that, man. Look, man, you want to get you want to get any semblance of financial literacy. The guest we had on our show this past week, man, that brother was sharp as a needle, sharp as a heroin needle. Baby Savage, man, y'all go check that interview out, and be sure to subscribe. I ain't got to tell Kevin Robinson. I know Kevin Robinson. Vincent, Vincent Muller, Connie. And that's not to say that they're the only ones of y'all that watch, but they comment, they engage in the show, you know. So y'all go check out, support the podcast. We got some dope episodes coming up. And you know, that's what it is, man. All right, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. I will catch y'all later on. Peace and hair grease.